Diamond P Sports presents the fastest sport on wheels, championship drag racing.
Dave, this Winston World Final signifies the end of a tough but exciting NHRA season of championship drag racing. To the racers, it means they finally know what their share of $175,000 in bonus cash will be, plus $250,000 event purse. The Top Fuel World Championship battle ended here in the staging lanes yesterday in dramatic fashion when Kelly Brown simply ran out of time.
That's right, Steve. The last few weeks have not been good for Kelly Brown, the defending world champion. Kelly and the over-the-hill gang had to completely rebuild their car after an exploding clutch in the finals of the Fall Nationals severely damaged the dragster. In his previous qualifying attempts here at Ontario, Kelly fell short of the mark, and with time running out yesterday, the crew was hard at work trying to find the horsepower and traction combination that would qualify for the 16-car field. Kelly came into the World Finals just 506 points behind the leader, Rob Bruins, and he had to qualify to continue his quest to become the first person ever to repeat as world champion. This has been a great season for Kelly, winning the Gator Nationals, the Cajun Nationals, the Mile High Nationals, and the 25th Annual U.S. Nationals. But this was not his weekend, as Kelly and the car were both ready for a final attempt when time ran out and qualifying ended. A tough way to end the year for Kelly Brown, the 1978 world champion, who now passes the crown and title to Rob Bruins. Both cars go up in smoke, but Dwight Salisbury recovers first and wins the race by just a few feet. 6.33 seconds elapsed time to Hank Johnson's losing 6:36. Watching again, we see Hank Johnson up in smoke. Dwight Salisbury the same, but Salisbury recovers very quickly and pulls away and holds on at the finish line to take the victory over Hank Johnson. Shirley has got to try to master that tricky right-hand lane, and she smokes the tires. Rob Bruins pulls ahead and maintains about a car length lead to the finish line. It's Rob Bruins winning it 6.18 seconds. He'd love to double up, take the World Championship title and the World Finals event title all in the same day. You can see as he pulls away, Shirley Muldowney losing traction, giving the lead at that point to Rob Bruins, and he was never to be headed at the finish line. Shirley ran 238 miles an hour to try to catch Rob.
Don Prudhomme, you've owned that #1 on the side of your car for 4 consecutive years. What do you have to accomplish today to keep it?
Well, it's going to be a difficult chore. If I go to the last round with Raymond Beadle, along the way, I'd have to set both ends of the national record. In track conditions the way they are, that looks doubtful. Or Raymond Beadle has to go out first round or second round, and I need to win the race.
You'd like to have qualified higher where you had lane choice?
Well, I certainly would, yeah. It's been a difficult track for us here, and we've been having our share of problems, and it's unfortunate at the end of the year that that happens.
And Tom McEwen will go right after you round 1.
Oh, yeah, certainly, but I'm going to go right after him, too, and the race isn't over, and we'll see.
Raymond Beadle, the Funny Car World Championship is within your grasp here today. Just exactly what does the Blue Max crew have to do to take that #1 off of Don Prudhomme's car and put it on yours?
Of course, we need to stick within 1 round of Snake, but primarily we're concentrating on winning the race, because we win the race, we'll definitely have the championship.
Now, do you feel you have an advantage? You're qualified quicker? Maybe you've got a handle on it?
We do have a little advantage there. We qualified in the top half of the field. Snake qualified in the bottom half, which gives us lane choice, and I think that's going to be very decisive in this race, being that yesterday and the day before, the tire lane was definitely had an advantage over the other one.
In the World Championship Series, his competition on the line right now is Jim Adolph, and Adolph is having problems with Pat Johnson's car. He cannot get it into reverse. He's down track after his burnout, trying to get the car to back up. Now, here it comes back. He may be having problems with the shifter, and what a break that would be for Raymond Beadle in this first round. As he said earlier, he needs to win each round and stay ahead of Don Prudhomme in his quest for the World Champions title. Again, still some problems with Adolph as Beetle begins to move to the starting line, and he may get the break that he needed. A single in the first round for Raymond Beetle. And the all-important World Championship Series points keeps mounting for the Blue Max.
Well, that's one down. That must relieve a little of the tension, the pressure.
Well, that's a little bit. This one here is the one that's going to decide, though, Steve.
On the starting line right now.
McEwen said, don't worry.
Is that what he said?
Well, he told me, so we'll see what him and Billy Bones come up with.
And it'll be Tom McEwen out first. Prudhomme smokes the tires. It's over.
Dave, it is absolute bedlam down here. The Blue Max crew has gone crazy. They are the world champions.
Both cars now staged. Let's see. Shoemake up in smoke and Beetle up close to him. But just no horsepower at the finish line as there it is. Trip Shoemake wins it. Those are the alcohol-burning funny cars. Now in the nitro burner of Joe Pisano and smoking the tires, going all over the racetrack. His ridings, he's still in it, but from behind comes John Force.
John Force, that's one you might have thought you lost had you not stuck with it.
Steve, I made one of those all-time screw-ups. I left the starting line in high gear. I can't believe I did it. My car was weird acting. I went out there and just did everything wrong. Pedal had hit it, but I seen he was in trouble. I recovered it, reached down and shifted it in high gear, and I was in high gear. I got to apologize to my guys because they've worked hard, and I screwed it up, and the Lord just let us pull that one right out of the bag.
You've got a reprieve as you go into the semifinals. You'll never do that again, probably.
Oh, I'm going to make a lot of mistakes before this thing's over, but that's a killer to be that dumb. It's dumb. It's the pressure. When I got in the glue box, the car was sideways coming out, and I had to pedal it, so I thought, well, I'll leave it in high gear and try to do another drive with it to save from wearing the clutch. And when I backed up, my whole program changed, and I never thought to put it back in low, and it was just one of those dumb
Seems to me it takes a heck of a guy to admit it.
I'm a heck of a guy.
Okay, John Force goes into the semifinals with the Wendy's car.
A special treat for the fans. This is a replica of a 1929 Model A Ford panel truck driven by none other than Wild Bill Shrewsbury. Behind Bill sits an alcohol-burning supercharged Hemi engine that puts the panel truck on its rear wheels. And it stays on its rear wheels all the way through the quarter mile and a lot more. Sparks flying from the skid plates at the back of the car. The Model A Berry Wagon heads down the track. Wild Bill Shrewsbury at the controls. Well past the finish line, Bill Shrewsbury sets it down. A real treat for the fans at the World Finals.
Big Daddy, you mentioned earlier you'd been taking power out of the engine. What do you do now as Rob Bruins will no doubt put you in that right-hand lane for the final?
I'll tune for that lane.
Is it possible as it cools off that that lane could get a little better?
You can win this race out of that lane.
With what tactic?
I don't want to talk about that.
Big Daddy being a little cagey, and who wouldn't be, going against Rob Bruins for a lot of money.
They leave the line together, and Colson goes out of control and crosses the center line, which means automatic disqualification. So Gordy Bonnet moves into the finals to determine who gets the lane choice in the finals against Gordy Bonnet. And they both smoke the tires. John Force drifting out towards the guardrail. He backs out of it and gets back in it, but it's too late as Trip Shoemake moves into the finals. His elapsed time, 6.88 seconds, and a dejected crew member heads back. And a whole shot for Iaconio puts him about a foot ahead of Glidden. Can he hold on for the win? Oh, what a close race to the finish, and it's Bob Glidden who wins it. A tremendous close race, 8.65 seconds. The winning time for Glidden, 8.74 seconds, almost a tenth of a second slower, but a lot quicker off the starting line was Frank Iaconio. At the finish, though, it's where it's important, and that's where Bob Glidden gets first, known as the Christmas tree. The tree goes green, and both cars smoke the tires. Gordy Bonnet recovers and heads across the finish line first. For the third time this season, Gordy Bonnet wins an NHRA national event.
Dave, no one is more particular about weight on a race car than Big Daddy Don Garlitz. He likes them featherweight. Yet his crew can fight it in me in the staging lanes. that Big Daddy has added a significant amount of weight to the rear end of this car, trying to get it to hook up in that right-hand lane. He is crafty. Let's see what happens.
We'll know in just a couple of moments, Steve, as both cars have completed their burnouts. They're creeping into the staging beams. Will the weight make the difference for Big Daddy? The light's green, and it's Rob Bruins out first, but Bruins is out of control. He backs out of it, and here comes Garland. And Don Garland's Big Daddy cruising again. He wins it to the jubilation of this crowd. They are going crazy. Here you see Bruins just out of control. Heads right towards Don Garland. Has to lift out of it. And then slowly but surely, here comes the swamp rat from Florida, Big Daddy Don Garland.